Good evening everyone. My name is RahulVerma. Today I am here to represent presentation on handling network communication in Flutter for Liquid Galaxy system. This is a part of GSOC2026 of Liquid Galaxy streaming. In this presentation we will discuss how Flutter app communicate with the Liquid Galaxy, why network communication is critical for Liquid Galaxy, and what are the way through which we can connect our Flutter application with Liquid Galaxy, and we also do some sort of comparison between the communications provided by Flutter, and also in last we discuss how to manage IP and ports on the Flutter side so that it makes our network communication reliable and fast. So let's jump to the first slide, and we start with our quick intro of Liquid Galaxy. Liquid Galaxy is an advanced immersive visualization platform that uses multiple synchronized screens arranged in panoramic setup. These screens work together to display geospatial satellite 3D content, creating a feeling of immersion that a single screen cannot provide. Basically, with the help of Liquid Galaxy, we can explore cities on the Earth as well as the environment weather. It worked as a distributed system, means it consists of a master machine as well as slaves machines. It worked on a architecture of master and slaves machine in which one of the machine in Liquid Galaxy is a master machine and the rest of other machines are the slaves machines. If I take an example of this image, in this we have a multiple screens, and in these multiple screens, one of the screen is a master machine and the rest of the screens are the slaves machines. The command which we send from Flutter app is always send to the master machines, then master machine send that command to the respective slave machine, and before sending command to Liquid Galaxy, we make sure that all the master and the slave machine are properly synced. Then with the help of this we can execute command on slave machines, and this make network communication is critical because to travel a command from Flutter app to Liquid Galaxy, the communication between the network must be strong because it operate on a real-time communications. Means we send command using Flutter app, then it execute on Liquid Galaxy side. Means we have to wait for execution of the command. Then Liquid Galaxy send us a response that the command is executed or not. So now let's jump to the second slide. Why network communication is critical in LG apps? Because I already explained you that Liquid Galaxy worked as a distributed system and it operates as a multi-screen cluster-based environment. It relies entirely on seamless real-time connectivity between master controller and master slave node. And basically, as you all know that Liquid Galaxy is used for visualization. If the network communication is not good in between Flutter app and Liquid Galaxy, we can't send command to Liquid Galaxy. If I take an example of my experience, when I connect when I try to connect my Flutter app with Liquid Galaxy for the very first time, even I face difficulty to connect my Flutter app to Liquid Galaxy. So the the basic reason behind that, because I am using the wrong way of communication, and because you know that command is a travel through a network when you send command from Flutter app to Liquid Galaxy. If I take an example of this screen, in this screen we have multiple buttons and each button execute a different command on Liquid Galaxy. So if I take an example of a display 3D model, it display 3D model on Google Earth. So this command also travel through a network. So the Network connection communication between both the parties must be strong so that it can easily execute the command which we send from Flutter app and it displays result on Liquid Galaxy. Why so? Because there is no direct control from the Flutter side. We can't control the communication from the Flutter side, so it only depends on the network communication whether our command is travel or not. Because L- Liquid Galaxy is designed for live interactions. We can't control it from the Flutter app. Is if there is any single network failure, it can disrupt the entire session. So the network communication between both the party must be so good so that it can easily travel our command to so that our command can travel through a network and execute it on the Liquid Galaxy. After knowing why network communication is critical, it's time to know how Flutter communicate with Liquid Galaxy. So Flutter app act as client application whereas Liquid Galaxy act as a host system. All the communication happens through a network. Flutter app send command through a network to Liquid Galaxy, then Liquid Galaxy execute that command, then their result of execution sent through a network to then it display on the Flutter app. These commands are sending to master machine using internet protocol like SSH and WebSockets, which we further discussed in our presentation. And the communication between our Flutter app and the Liquid Galaxy is a synchronization. Basically, there are two ways of communication. First one is a synchronization, and second one is a asynchronization. In synchronization, when we have a multiple line of uh, when we have multiple lines of code, it execute one by one. If any of part of code takes time, whole code has to wait for that code to execute properly. Then after completing execution of that code, then it execute rest of the code. But in asynchronization communication, it also execute uh, command on it also execute command on Liquid Galaxy, but in this type of communication it does not have to wait for the program has not wait for entire communication to be executed properly. So after knowing how Flutter app communicate with the Liquid Galaxy, now we will know what are the communication method through which our Flutter app communicate with the Liquid Galaxy. So Liquid Galaxy does not rely on single communication mechanism because it is a distributed and interactive system. So it uses multiple network communication methods, each designed for a specific type of task. So HTTP communication, SH communications, and socket communication. These are some methods through which we can communicate with Liquid Galaxy. But which of among these is best for Liquid Galaxy? We will know when we know all of these communication in detail. So let's go into the details of these communication. Let's start with HTTP communication. So HTTP follows the request response model. Flutter app sends a request. The server responds with the data or status code. This makes HTTP simple, predictable, and widely supported. HTTP communication is a common method which is widely used in Flutter application because with the help of HTTP we execute a method or we execute if you have any API with the help of HTTP we execute that API and get response from that API either in the form of JSON or a status code. If there is any uh, if there is any problem in API, it give this status code through which through that code we will know that our API is executed or not. So basically the HTTP communication is widely used for fetching data using APIs. and it also has some sort of limitations. First, it is not ideal for real-time communication. As you all know that the communication between Liquid Galaxy and the Flutter app is a real-time communication. It does not support real-time communication because it only execute that method once. After executing after getting response from that API or that method, it never execute that method next time by itself. So this is the this limitation prove that HTTP communication is not built for real-time communication, and we can't use HTTP communication for Liquid Galaxy for sending commands from Flutter application to Liquid Galaxy. So next is a SSH communication. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It is a protocol that allows secure remote access to another machines over a network. It provided encrypted communication which make it safe for executing sensitive operations. With the help of SSH communication, we can gain the access of remote systems or remote machines like in the case of our Liquid Galaxy. Liquid Galaxy is a remote machine or host system. With the help of SSH communication, we can access that machine or execute commands on Liquid Galaxy. If I take an example of data visualization code or the apps which is developed by Liquid Galaxy, they all use SSH communication because with the help of SSH communication, we can gain access of that machine. Then we can execute commands on that machine. Plus, it it is encrypted communication. There is no third party involved in that communications. Now, why it is good for Liquid Galaxy Liquid Galaxy because it is used because as you know that we execute command on Liquid Galaxy with the help of SSH communication. We directly execute command on that machine and get result, and through this all the command executed across all the slave machine. So this makes SSH a core communication method for Liquid Galaxy control. Next is a socket communication. Socket communication creates a persistent connection between Flutter app and the Liquid Galaxy system. Unlike HTTP, the connection stays open instead of closing each request. Means socket communication also support real-time communication. It is not like HTTP that it also stays open after executing command on Liquid Galaxy, and it also good choice if we want to execute command on Liquid Galaxy. Now let's talk about what are the benefits of socket communication. First one is the better response time. Second is efficient for real-time scenarios. It also give better user experience for live control. And if as I already said that we can use it in our Liquid Galaxy, that it also give continuous updates, it also give live status updates, and also the real-time communication between Flutter app and Liquid Galaxy is also happen through socket connections. Means we also use this mode of communication for executing command on Liquid Galaxy. So let's know why Flutter can do using SH. Means why we use SH communication for executing command on Liquid Galaxy side. Because with the help of SSH we directly execute commands on terminal. We can load or remove KML from that Linux system. Also, we can, with the help of SSH communication, we directly stop or start the LG services, which makes a good fit for a good fit for Liquid Galaxy to communicate to Flutter app with Liquid Galaxy. With the help of SHH, we gain the full control over LG behaviors, and in this communication we don't need any third party, that we do not need any third party to monitor. So that's why SH communication is better for Liquid Galaxy when we communicate our Flutter app with Liquid Galaxy. So let's do some sort of comparison between these types of communication. First one is a HTTP communication. In this comparison, we will know which communication is best for which type of communication. Like in Liquid Galaxy case, we will see for the real-time communication. So first is HTTP communication. HTTP is best when you need simple structure communication. Real-time behavior is not required. You are interactive with the API or backend service. Means we only execute a particular API on our Flutter app and get response from that API and then display that result on our Flutter app. In that case, HTTP communication is best. Next is SH communication. With the help of SH, you need direct control over Liquid Galaxy machines. Command must be executed at system level. Security is the top priority. Means with the help of SSH, it encrypt our communication, and it also provides security. You can get direct control of Liquid Galaxy machines through SSH, and we directly execute command on that system using SH communication. Next is a socket communication. Socket communication are best when real-time interaction is required. Continuous data exchange is needed. Low latency is critical. Means this is also best for real-time communication between both the parties. And when there is a continued data exchange between both the parties, then this socket connection is also good for real-time interaction. So now we are on the last part of our presentation. In this, we try to understand how to manage IP address in Liquid Galaxy, because if you can't properly manage your IPs and ports on Flutter app, you can't make your network communication reliable, because the static IPs help to identify that system. So Liquid Galaxy is a network-dependent distributed system. All communication will happen using IP address. Means if you have a right IP address of that machine, then we can easily connect with that machine and we easily send our command to that particular machine using IP address. Master node acts as a central controller of the Liquid system. All the commands from Flutter are typically sent to master node IP, which then coordinate actions across slave machines. As I already told that our Flutter app always send command to the master machine, then master machine distribute that command to the respective slave machines. Each screen in Liquid Galaxy is powered by slave machines. Each slave has its own IP address. So Liquid Galaxy screen slave machines also have a different IPs for all the screens. These are these IP are used internally by the system to keep all the displays synchronized. And why statics IPs are required? Why we can't use dynamic IPs? Because dynamic IPs can exchange unexpectedly and breaking communication with the Flutter and LG. Because whenever we send or execute a command on system, it automatically change the IP. That's why we use static IPs. Then in last we will discuss how to manage ports in Liquid Galaxy system. Every network communication happen through a specific port on a machine. Like if I take an example of Liquid Galaxy operates on a 22 port number, which we always fill on the setting page. And if this port is blocked, SH connection will fail. Flutter cannot execute LG commands. So remember that while executing commands on LG systems, firstly we need to figure out which particular port through which we connect our IP to Liquid Galaxy, or through which port through we can connect our Flutter app with Liquid Galaxy. And why port management matters. Once IP address and ports are configured correctly, we can achieve stable communication between Flutter app and Liquid Galaxy. So it is mandatory to always check your IP address of that machine, master machine, and the port number of that machine before connecting your Flutter app with Liquid Galaxy. So now it's time to jump to the conclusion. So as I already told you that Network Galaxy depend entirely on reliable network communication. If the connection between Flutter app and the network Liquid Galaxy is not so good, then we can't execute our command and we can't connect our Flutter app with remote system. And also network communication is a backbone of LG control. So when network communication is designed correctly, Flutter become a powerful and reliable controller for Liquid Galaxy system. Means if the connection between Flutter app and the Liquid Galaxy is so strong, then it provides seamless experience. And so in the case of Liquid Galaxy application, stable network communication is not just a feature, it is a foundation of entire system. If the foundation goes wrong, then whatever you feature added in your Flutter app also waste of the time. So before so network communication is very reliable when you try to execute your command on Liquid Galaxy. So always check your manage your IPs and ports correctly in the Flutter app so that you can easily execute your commands on Liquid Galaxy and without any problem. So thank you for your time. And if you have any kind of question, you can ask me in the community chat. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your time.